Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
And today we're going to talk about herbs and how they can help with your well-being. We're doing a lot of cooking because of the holidays, so I thought, why not just spice it up a little bit and have a great topic to just go over how different herbs can really benefit you and the family as you're going through this holiday season. So the first thing, Ahmed, I'd like to talk about is what kind of herbs can we use to help with cold? We're in winter time. Families are getting together. Some people may have some cold. What can we do to protect ourselves from helping from getting cold and getting ill?
Well, if you look at how nature operates, God knows the best way on what to provide, you know, human beings with in terms of seasonal changes. Well, God is truly bountiful because, fruits have different seasons, vegetables have different seasons. And, some basically bear fruit in the summer, yet others bear fruit in winter. So if we look at in terms of what is there that we can have,
Yeah.
well, in winter usually you'll have more of the crucifers type of plants. Usually if you would target certain roots,
Like turnip?
that turnip is one of them, and I like to suggest something like black radish.
Okay.
Yeah, if you'd grab a black radish and you just peel the skin, and you can either grate it and mix it with your salad, or you can slice them into finger size as God's natural raw French fries,
Okay.
and just munch on them. They taste sweet, they taste great. But one thing I realized is when I started using them, and I was like completely, my mucous membranes were blocked. It helped to alleviate and remove the mucus. It just opened up the blockage.
Like
It's
congestion?
amazing. Yes.
Mm.
And just a little tip. In the old days, for those that had, let's say, a wet cough, you keep coughing so hard and it hurts your lungs, right?
Yeah.
So you want to relieve that congestion from your bronchial uh, yeah, inflammation and
Mhm.
stuff. So what the old remedy was is that you grab a black radish, slice the top part off, and then spoon the inside right in the center. Okay, make it like deep enough. Let's say around 3 inches or so, or 4 inches, depends on the size of the black radish. And then add a teaspoon of sugar in
Really?
there. Yes, and place it in the refrigerator overnight. The next morning, when you wake up, God has made you a wonderful cough syrup that is so powerful that it's going to help you with your cough.
Now, do you use regular sugar or can you use like brown sugar to be more healthy?
Well,
Obviously.
definitely, the more you can use something that is closer to the natural thing, it's better instead of being refined. I highly advise that because there are certain elements to it that is still intact. But refined sugar, of course, it's much sweeter,
I was gonna say
and
she's gonna like that syrup.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's just the bottom line is the
Benefit.
least process is better.
Of course.
And
Of course.
another thing, now what you've mentioned about sugar, okay, fine, this is one way that we can deal with this root in order to extract the
Hmm.
syrup out of it. It's just how it reacts to the sugar once you place in it. Sugar, however, plays a very, very important role in basically lowering your immune system. So, for example, if you grab a can of soda, it has approximately, I think, around 13 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow.
Soda, yeah. And what that does, as soon as you have it, you have basically wiped out your immune system for the whole day by 33%. Like it keeps you open for exposure.
For other illnesses.
Yeah, especially I'm talking about like seasonal flu, for example.
Okay.
Like you'll be more susceptible
To getting a
uh,
cold.
to getting it because it lowers your defenses
Got it.
temporarily. I'm not saying permanent, but saying like temporarily. So I'm not saying don't have sugar, but the best option is why not have a fruit? Why
It's
not have an apple? Right? Apples are sweet and they're delicious, but it contains other minerals with it.
I actually did hear that if you don't satisfy that craving,
Yes.
it actually leads to you not feeling well. Like instead of
Yeah,
so
of course.
substituting it for something else, something healthier is the way to go
Yes.
because that feeling or that emotion of missing something is actually
Yes.
worse.
And usually when people go for like sugary stuff, it's because their their food intake is nutrient deficient.
Mm,
So if you're not eating foods that can feed you on a cellular level, you're just eating to in order to stuff yourself, and it may be calorie high, but what about nutrients, right? Always try to think of food in terms of how can this food benefit my body? Ask yourself, because you want to develop awareness,
mm.
right? And if you don't, as Hippocrates stated, he said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food." So if you focus on certain foods, and not necessarily like these herbs taste bad, you can mix them into different food combinations. That you can still intake it without having that bitter taste or any aftertaste when you're eating.
Let's.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, talking about food that we cook, garlic, right? We all use garlic.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love garlic.
Yes.
What's the benefit of garlic?
Okay. Now, garlic is definitely one of a staple when it comes to adding flavor if you cook
Hmm.
it, right? But when you treat it to heat, it kills the enzymes. It kills a huge amount of medicinal value. Now, I have experienced for myself and my family members that when we have a sore throat and it's prolonging, it's not going, garlic it's a powerful antibiotic, first of all. It has some antiviral properties, it has some antifungal properties as well. The best way to take it is to grab a clove of garlic, chop it up into small pieces, and then wait for at least 20 minutes to half an hour. Now, you're going to ask me, why should we wait?
Yeah.
Right?
Why
If
should we
I'm
wait?
going to eat it raw, what's the difference? Well, the question is, once you chop a garlic open, a chemical reaction occurs once it's exposed to air, like its internal parts are
Right.
exposed to air. So it's going to produce another chemical, or another form of medicine, which is called allicin,
Okay.
and that's what you require. If you look at you go to the pharmacy, sometimes you can find these little soft gels they call them garlic pearls, right?
Yeah.
They've extracted the odor from the garlic, but they kept the main active ingredient in it, which is allicin. So instead of going for that, why not use the complete food the way God has designed it for you? That is just an extract. Why not have the whole thing? There are certainly other parts of it. If you want to lower your blood pressure, if you want to help to unclog your arteries, if you want to increase the nitric oxide synthase, which is dilating of your blood vessels in order to have an increase in blood flow, garlic is a powerful, powerful herb.
But how much can you eat before like you smell like garlic? Because
Well,
my husband
here,
goes, "How much can I eat before I'm going to smell like garlic?"
too much of anything is no
Yeah.
good.
So
You
what do you
know,
recommend?
I recommend once a day. If you're sick, have it once a day for a few days.
A
If
clove?
you're, if you, no, if one clove. If you're very sick and you have a sore throat, take it for 2 days in a row, once every 12 hours. People are taking antibiotics on time, right? Treat it as such. Treat it as medicine. Do not go overboard with it. It can upset your stomach if you increase the intake all of a
Mm.
sudden. But make sure that when you do take it between your meals. So at least it's basically, you're not allowing the garlic to run across your stomach lining because
Can you
it
put it on
does.
top of food, like with other food?
Yes, you could,
'Cause-
but as long as it remains raw.
no, right?
That's
Because we,
that's
yeah, the Italians like to have roasted peppers with garlic
yes,
on top. So delicious.
of course.
Let's see what else. Echinacea.
So yeah, echinacea is another powerful herb that also helps to recover from the flu much faster as well. It
Mhm.
has some antimicrobial properties that can help the body to alleviate the symptoms. So if you combine garlic with echinacea, amazing. You basically have a more potent form of medicine with this combination. There
Beautiful.
is other herbs that you may take. For example, you have cardamom. Cardamom is another spice. It comes into like small green pods shape. Herbs are usually sold dry, and cardamoms, the way that you should take them, like I like to take them in a form of a tea.
Okay.
So I grab like 7 tiny pods, and then I crush them open. The secret with cardamom is never buy them grated or basically in a powder form. Buy them in pods because the active ingredient that is medicinal releases upon the time that you break the pods open.
Oh,
So it's just designed that way. You have another one which is called the black cumin seed, Nigella sativa. It's a powerful, powerful antimicrobial herb. It grows on the stem of a purple flower. It's very popular in India and in Egypt and in
do you put that
Pakistan.
in tea as well?
I like to take that raw. Like I grab let's say a teaspoon of it and I start to chew it. Similar scenario with the black cumin seed is that once you chew it, the medicinal property gets released. If it's in powder form, it's probably depleted.
Okay.
And it's so powerful. It acts as an anti-inflammatory. It acts as an antifungal, antibacterial, antihistamine. It has some antiviral properties that helps your body to cope in order to get rid of the flu faster. So when I look at these things and I say, aren't we just so blessed?
Mm.
When you look at certain scripture books and it says when it talks about the herbs and they say that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. But the question is, are we really digging into this stuff? Are we really enriching our knowledge that we can know how to look after this body?
I think
So
people are
you
getting
have,
smarter and smarter. This is why we're bringing out this information, is that people really are wanting to know how to really maintain health in a natural way, right? And this
yes,
is why we're doing the show. Yeah.
Another one that is probably a lot of people's favorite, and they use it in the kitchen all the time.
Let
They
me guess.
uh,
Traumatic? Traumatic?
well, turmeric is a powerful herb, and in India, it's being used heavily, and it is a wonderful, wonderful type of herb because it's a powerful antibiotic
Hmm.
and it has a super anti-inflammatory activity, especially for those who are suffering from arthritis. It really helps to uh, uh, lower the inflammatory markers throughout their entire body. We have what I was trying to refer to is cinnamon sticks.
Oh, that was
Now,
my next
now we
word.
know we're in season. Christmas is right around the corner,
Yeah,
and of course, you're gonna have your, especially like when it comes to, let's say we've just passed through Halloween.
yeah.
You could smell it just in the air. But who doesn't like cinnamon cookies? Who doesn't like to have cinnamon tea? Who doesn't like to have their cinnabons?
Oh, so good.
So, looking at it from all that stuff, it's probably one herb that everybody
Yeah.
loves to enjoy. But how to take it in a medicinal form? Where don't go for the powder. Go to your local, if you can find, probably you can find it in Whole Foods, or if you have
The
an Indian
sticks.
store nearby. Yeah, the sticks. That's the
Yeah,
key.
I have.
The whole stick. Again, we're going back to the complete package, the way God has created it for you in order for you to use it. Never try to go for the extract. Have the whole thing, but never the extract. Because once it's in its complete form, it is more effective.
Yes, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. But you're talking about the little. I mean, those sticks are about a finger long. That's what you mean
Yeah,
in a dry
yes,
in a
yes.
container, right?
It comes in a container or it comes in a bag. You can break a few sticks. Make a tea out of it if you wish.
Yeah, that's what I used to
But
do.
yeah, you got licorice root, another beautiful herb that really helps to soothe your throat
Black
down.
licorice, my favorite.
Hmm.
That's good for the throat.
Not the, like, they have it in a form of candy. I know that they sell it. Not talking about that. Licorice root comes as a stick, as a little twig, right?
um,
If that
Twizzlers.
can be basic. I'm
No,
sorry.
Twizzlers.
No, not Twizzlers. You're thinking of the holiday seasons for sure.
So funny.
So another wonderful herb, and I know for a fact that it's the Spanish's favorite, and they probably use it in their cuisine all the time, especially to help young children to deal with flu, cough, stomach aches, diarrhea, and all that kind of stuff. And that is called the star anise. It's
Really?
Yeah, it's a tiny star. It's black in color. It has a funny taste to it, but it is so good. It alleviates a lot of symptoms in the body because it has powerful antimicrobial properties. Kids touch everything these days.
Mm,
It's
absolutely.
difficult to keep track of children. And when you tell them, don't touch here, and if it's lunchtime or dinner time and they have to deal
Yeah,
with finger foods,
yeah.
immediately they just go to the food without washing their hands, right? And pathogens go in and they start to get ill. And we wonder, why are they sick? Well, if we nurture our kids and we teach them these just tiny little habits on how to look after yourself, hygiene and nutrition plays a big role. But teach them that these herbs are also their friends.
Right.
You know, in the old days, we barely went to the doctor. Why? Because grandma knew exactly what to give us.
And it wasn't processed. It was
It
right from
wasn't
the back
processed.
garden. But the
Yes.
nice thing is that more and more people are getting smart, and I see a lot of people creating their own gardens and eating fresh
Yes.
vegetables without any, you know, pesticide or whatever they throw on it to
E-
keep it.
I have another one for this holidays season favorite food that also helps to boost the immune system, let alone cleanse your entire colon and have healthy bowel movements throughout, the rest of the season. Sweet potatoes.
Really?
So good.
With
It
marshmallows?
has, well, I prefer it to be steamed alone, hence to preserve its
That's
its
boring.
nutrients. But it's very rich in beta carotene,
Wow.
or basically another form of vitamin A,
Well,
which
actually,
helps with your immune system.
it beats the white potato.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah,
I
of
I
course.
would go for sweet potatoes any given time over regular potato.
Hmm. Let's see, what else? What can we use if we think of like the common conditions like diabetes? What can we use that is natural to help with diabetes?
Well, here is with diabetes. Now, of course, we have type 1, type 2 diabetes, but
Hmm.
I know that cinnamon sticks and what you call there is another kind of tea as well. Um, that helps chamomile tea, yes. Chamomile tea and cinnamon sticks help to lower your blood sugar, as
Okay.
well as okras, or they call them ladyfingers.
Those are cookies.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
not cookies. It's a green vegetable. It's the size of a finger, right? Um, they say if you chop it and you place it in a glass of water and you leave it there for an hour or two, there are some parts of that plant infuses itself with the water. That helps also to lower your blood sugar. But you see, the reason why, let's say, for example, type 2 diabetes, what's causing that? Your pancreas usually has to release insulin. But why is it not releasing insulin? Well, two things. One, all of the cell areas where the insulin are being released are basically blocked with excessive amount of gluten. That's one. Number two, animal fat.
so butter, milk. Like, no, when you mean
If you
animal.
got Yeah, you have to eliminate dairy, but then at the same time, the black cumin seed that I have mentioned, if you would take that every day, let me put it this way. My father is above 60 years of age, and he had type 2 diabetes for a few years. He's not diabetic anymore. It worked for him. I'm not saying that this may work for everyone, but I'm saying give it a try.
What did he do exactly?
Well, he went vegan for 6 months.
Okay.
No dairy and no gluten
Gluten.
at all in his food program. I don't and he was taking 2 tablespoons of black seed oil. You could find it on Amazon. They sell it everywhere. Get the organic one because black seed oil acts also as an immunomodulator.
Okay.
So it even helps for people who have certain autoimmune conditions as well. So all of these things that he did in combination with each other, and when I mean vegan, nothing from an animal. And he just maintained that kind of diet. He was trying to have an alternative protein from vegetables by having pulses, beans, and
Right.
legumes, different kinds of stuff. And a couple of things happened. His diabetes went away. He lost a lot of belly fat, and on top of that, he lost the blood pressure issue. My
Oh wow.
father is a heart patient.
Hmm.
So maintaining a clean diet is key. You see, if you think of your body as a Maserati, the way Dr. Charlotte Gerson,
Hmm.
uh, wanted to explain it, you wouldn't put garbage in your body, would you? Or you prefer to definitely put the best kind of fuel in it.
That's right.
There is always an alternative. If your body is not adjusting and you have certain health conditions, check out the alternative. The plant kingdom has plenty.
I think it comes down to God has given us everything that we need, everything that we
Absolutely.
need, right? But this was lovely. This is great information. I think, just from a perspective of knowing how to take care of ourselves with the food that
Yes.
we eat is the key to really eliminate a lot of conditions and illnesses. And I think this is super helpful with all the information you gave us here today, Ahmed, because it just, even, from a cooking perspective, right? Like, I know garlic is good. I know, some of the things you mentioned, cinnamon sticks. I mean, now I'm going to probably have cinnamon tea more often than before, but it's all about, we need to make the choices, the right choices
Yes.
for
You
our
know, God
well-being.
gave us God gave us free will, and as you said, we have to make the choices. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
What are you going to choose?
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this show. Thank you, Ahmed, for the information. I
Thank you.
think we definitely sent out a good message today. We want to wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas to your families,
Merry Christmas.
and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining Spark and Change for Harmonious
Thank
Living.
you. See you next time.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living.